Welcome to Letters from Vietnam by Tim O'Brien. These series of recordings will uncover the true war stories of the war in Vietnam. While this feature film may be a documentary, the stories told through the letters by Tim O'Brien are not to be taken lightly, as each and every single one of them carry a detailed experience and message of his toils during the war. We ask for your full attention, to pay respect to not only Tim O'Brien, but to each and every one of the lives lost during the Vietnam War.
Dear Mom,
I assume you figured out by now why I left. I didn't want to leave, but at the time, it didn't look like I had any other choice. I know you're worried about me and this whole draft. Don't be worried, Ma. I'm packing my things now. I have to leave in a few hours. You know, I think I'm okay. My Harvard professors tried to get me to stay enrolled. I can't do it though, Ma. I'm not going to be a hero by staying home and studying. I feel like I had to do this for my country. So many young men are going, some of my friends too. I can't just stay behind and watch. Hopefully the scholarship will still be in effect when I get back from Vietnam. And if it isn't, I hope it goes to someone who deserves it more than me. You know, Ma, I'm not doing this to be a hero. If I come out of the war alive, that's enough for me. By the time you get this, I'll be training with the rest of the squad. Please don't worry about me, Ma. I hear the food is good.
love always, Tim. P.S. Visit Linda and give her some roses for me. March 4th, 1968. Dear Linda,
My love for you was real. When I think back on our short history together, it makes me smile to think of how nervous you made me in your adorable red cap. It's so hard for me to control my thoughts here. Oftentimes when I'm lying in my cot at night, I'm reminded of the things that scare me. Hell, I always assumed the problems of killing and dying did not fall within my special provenance. But things did not turn out that way. The people that are trying to kill me and the unknown dangers of tomorrow constantly haunt my thoughts. I am reminded of the way that life can be given and taken away so quickly, just as you were taken away from me when you were only 9 years old. The war is lonely. Men I'm friends with here have different ways of coping with their problems. My friend Ted Lavender uses tranquilizers every morning to get through the day. My method of coping is much more pure. I write down what I see. Telling stories seemed a natural, inevitable process. It was a way of grabbing people by the shirt and explaining exactly what had happened to me, how I had allowed myself to get drugged into a wrong war, all the mistakes I had made, all the terrible things that I had seen and done. However, in the times that seemed the most bleak, I think of you. I will you alive with my mind and words and hope that I'm tall enough to reach you wherever you are. Men in my platoon have some horrible ways of dealing with the pain, but I can't pass judgment because horrible thoughts are bound to come in such a horrible place. It was with you that I realized life and death, and now when I walk outside any day and have a Viet Cong shoot me within a second, I can understand that my innocence did not exist after I lost you. If you, with no provocation, no act of bad will, could die so young, then why should I deserve to live another day killing men? Watching you in that coffin made me so detached, a skill that has done me well on the other side of the world. However, every time I think of you, tears fill my eyes. Just thinking of that horrible boy taking off your cap makes me so angry because there is so much evil in this world. Evil is all around me in Vietnam, and to think that I could have protected you from that kills me inside. Maybe that's part of the reason I'm serving today. I want to save somebody. To make up for the times I wish I had been brave enough to. I will be brave enough for you now, Linda. I'll be seeing you in my dreams soon.
Love always, Timmy. Dear Viet Cong,
I never thought that I would be writing this letter. For more than 20 years, I've had to live with it, feeling the shame, trying to push it away. And so by this act of remembrance, by putting the facts down on paper, I'm hoping to relieve at least some of the pressure on my dreams. If the men in my platoon knew what I was doing, they would berate me for the rest of my time here, so we will just keep this letter our secret. I will never forget the way that you looked. Your jaw was in your throat, your upper lip and teeth were gone. One eye was shut, the other eye was a star-shaped hole. You looked so small and frail, and when I saw you laying on the ground, I could not believe what I had done. But for some reason, I wanted to know you. I wanted to know what you had been like, what your life had been before I took it all away. You were not a communist. You were a citizen and a soldier. Did you go to college? Did you have a wife, waiting for you at home, that is going to curse the day I was born? The problem with those questions is that they will never have an answer. God, at that moment in time, you were a man, just like me. Exactly like me. You didn't believe in the war. You didn't even want to be fighting. I could tell. That fact only added to my guilt, because it was as if I was killing a version of myself. I told my friend, Kiowa, about my guilt. I should have known better. He was kind and non-judgmental, but had never experienced the same feelings of remorse. I felt like, that day in Maikai, I was attending the funeral. I felt all the feelings associated with grief, but I don't know if it was for you. I think it was because I knew our lives would never be the same. But then, I saw it. I saw the most beautiful blue flowers and butterflies just fluttering around your cold, dead flesh, and that's when I started to cry. The contrast between the beauty and destruction was unbelievable. How could someone die in such a place? I only wish that you weren't there. You were at the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't want to kill. I went to Vietnam and I prayed to God that I wouldn't have to kill. But that was fantasy. I torture myself every night with your image, laying there, now underneath the ground. We were alike, you and I. I wish I could say I'm sorry, but if I was in that situation again, I honestly couldn't say what I would do. Your death will not be forgotten.
Sincerely, Tim O'Brien.